Today on CCX News, sold on a sale. The sale of Brooklyn Park's largest apartment complex can move forward. Why it took a controversial city council decision to let it happen. The Brooklyn Park City Council, acting as the city's economic development authority, voted to forgive a nearly $4 million loan to the current owner of the Huntington Place apartments. The decision allows the owner to sell the property. Kevin Miller explains what's at stake for the complex and for the tenants.
The Aon folks have been, in my opinion, terrible since the day I met them.
Harsh words from a city council member for the nonprofit owner of Huntington Place Apartments. It's the second largest complex in the Twin Cities with more than 800 units. The owners have been pushing a sale of the complex for months, saying they're at risk of a foreclosure.
We need a decision. We have to move. Our lenders have held. That doesn't mean they're going to hold forever, guys.
A foreclosure means the property could sell to an unknown buyer for a lower price on the open market. Aon wants to avoid that and identified a likely buyer in New York-based Moss Capital Group. But there's one problem. Aon owes Brooklyn Park $3.8 million. And they say the sale can't go through unless the city forgives the loan. For some city council members, that's a bitter pill to swallow.
I think that the proposal that's in front of us tonight gives the city the greatest chance to control the greatest number of variables. And even in that case, it's terrible.
It's one option out of many terrible options. But it is the one that gives the city the most leverage.
In exchange for forgiving the loan, there's some good news for Brooklyn Park. The city is getting back $450,000 as a settlement. It can also take over a $4 million federal grant from Aon and reinvest it into Zanewood Rec Center. The new buyer has also promised to keep rent controls in place. With the looming sale, some of Huntington's residents are asking for a seat at the table.
We want to make sure that our voices is being heard at every single step so that we're not like blindsided like most of us were during this process.
Others just hope they can stay in their home.
I would be devastated if I was moved out of my home. I would be devastated as to I would lose everything I own.
In Brooklyn Park, Kevin Miller, CCX News.
City officials expect the sale to be finalized within the next 3 months. The city of Crystal wants to put a cap on the number of liquor and tobacco stores it has in the city. Crystal currently has 9 stores with off-sale liquor licenses. For tobacco, that number is 20. Officials say the city has one of the highest concentrations of tobacco licenses in all of Hennepin County. Under a new ordinance proposed, the city would cap the number of off-sale liquor licenses at 4 and tobacco licenses at 10. Existing liquor and tobacco stores would be grandfathered in, but no new licenses would be issued. And for businesses that close or have their licenses revoked, the city would not try to replace them with a similar business. Have you ever been pulled over by a police officer? And if so, how did that make you feel? Well, today we get to learn the other side of it by stepping into the shoes of a police officer. As Corey Bork reports, a group of Brooklyn Park High School students had that opportunity. Here is what they learned.
The first thing I always do, hands down, as I introduce myself.
Inside the Brooklyn Park Police Station.
This is who I am. This is why I'm talking to you.
Champlain Park High School student Sora Hamza is learning what it's like to pull someone over.
You have your driver's license, proof of insurance on you. And now as you look at those, you can say, any idea how fast you were going? Have them guess.
Officer Dane Lazenberry is showing him how it's done.
You're all set? Okay.
In this scenario, Sora will question someone who is speeding.
Don't slam that door.
Now, for the moment of truth.
She gave you the driver's license and the insurance.
The next step, run that driver's license and make a decision.
What enforcement action are we going to take, whether it be a warning or a ticket, to educate?
Nope, just a warning from Officer Sora.
I respect that decision.
It was cool to, be on the other side. I've been pulled over, so it was kind of cool to see what it's like from a police officer's perspective.
You're always facing towards that car.
He's just one of a dozen students who are part of a new Brooklyn Park Youth Advisory Team.
Right, so you're stopping for failing to maintain lane.
Who meet monthly with police.
There you go, let's do it.
Allowing them to ask questions and share concerns.
I've never really learned or know how it feels to be pulled over, but even watching in different media and how that's portrayed, it kind of scares me.
Not everyone knows how to control their emotions when they get pulled over, so just learning what to do and how to communicate with the officer.
The goal is to break down police myths.
It's a difficult job to kind of explain because so much of it is in the gray, as we would say. And there's so many different variables.
And for these students, share with their friends what they learned.
They're not really out to get you. It's not like for fun, they're just trying to keep the road safe.
In Brooklyn Park, Corey Bork, CCX News.
In a previous session, the students learned about another topic that's been in the news, how local police handle the issue of immigration. A flavorful chicken that has roots in Guatemala is now available to people in Brooklyn Center.
3, 2, 1!
In Brooklyn Center, the city celebrated the grand opening of a new fast casual restaurant. Pollo Campero, located at Shingle Creek Crossing, is a fried chicken restaurant with roots in Central America. Company leaders say they chose Brooklyn Center because of the area's demographics and support they received from the city's economic development group. The restaurant was first established in Guatemala in 1971. It's famous for fried chicken marinated to the bone, made from recipes that were passed down through multiple generations.
So at the end of the day, when you eat Pollo Campero, it has great flavors. It's tender, crunchy, and juicy, and it has a uniqueness that once you try it, you definitely want to have it again and again.
This is Minnesota's second Pollo Campero location. The first opened in West St. Paul more than a decade ago.
As the spring sports season nears, we're honoring some of the top winter athletes. Here's Jay Wilcox with the All-Area Boys Hockey Team.
We'll start our CCX All-Area Boys Hockey Team at forward. Number 2, Brent Solomon of Champlin Park had a big senior season. Mr. Hockey finalist Solomon had 38 goals and 18 assists in helping the Rebels to a runner-up finish in Section 5AA. Champlin Park's team MVP and Star Tribune All-Minnesota pick Solomon is committed to Wisconsin. Number 7, Trey Peck of Totino Grace was Eagles MVP as a senior. Peck had 23 goals and 35 assists for 58 points and is 6th in all-time scoring for Grace. He's playing juniors in British Columbia. Number 22, Wyatt Kuznick of Maple Grove is a super sophomore, tying for the team lead with 15 goals and adding 24 assists for 39 points. Speedy and a gifted playmaker, Kuznick was Crimson Team MVP. Number 16, Eli Moldy of Wayzata is another strong skater. He led the Trojans in points with 28 on 12 goals and 16 assists and was Offensive Player of the Year for his team and an All-Lake pick. Number 11, Cam Kirshner earned All-Metro West Conference honors for Benilde St. Margaret's, tallying 17 goals and 28 assists for 45 points as a senior for a 21-win squad. Number 9, Nick Carlson of Champlin Park is a great playmaker. The grade 8 selection had 37 assists this season to go along with 9 goals in his senior season. Number 6, Weston Schenkelberg of Hopkins earned All-Lake Conference honors. Physical and skilled, the senior had 26 goals and 17 assists and will play juniors in the NAHL. Number 10, Ben Amato of Breck had 4 hat tricks as a senior on the way to a 29-goal, 36-assist season for the Mustangs. Number 23, Bennett Prokop of Osseo was his team's co-MVP, his second such honor for the Orioles. Seen here scoring last season, Prokop had 13 goals and 19 assists. Number 22, Louis Makozak of Armstrong Cooper is a grade 8 pick. Despite missing some time with an injury, Makozak had 11 goals and 14 assists for the Wings. Number 18, Junior Podine of Benilde St. Margaret's led the Red Knights in goals with 30 and added 25 assists. The goal total was the highest for a Red Knight since 2014. He'll play in the USHL and then at Western Michigan. Number 17, Gavin Cheska was Osseo's co-MVP with Prokop and led the Orioles with 15 goals and added 19 assists for 34 points. Our defensive core is led by number 22, Finn D. St. Hubert of Wayzata. The Trojans' team MVP and all-state pick excels defensively and had 17 assists and 3 goals. He's a Yale commit. Number 4, Evan Long of Champlin Park was a grade 8 pick. A talented offensive defenseman, Long had 27 assists and added 5 goals. Number 8, junior Tommy Picconato of Maple Grove is another grade 8 selection. The Crimson defensive MVP also had 3 goals and 15 assists. Number 3, Mason Miner of Benilde St. Margaret's also had a strong junior season, leading the Red Knights with 29 assists and adding 10 goals while earning all Metro West honors. Number 5, Carson Clark of Wayzata is one of the top defensive defensemen in the state and chipped in 4 goals and 13 assists while earning all Lake honors. Number 23, Jax Warren of Champlain Park rounds out the D. A gritty defenseman and good skater, Warren had 3 goals and 13 assists. He's playing in the NAHL. Our goalies include number 35, Zach Price of Maple Grove. The senior was 14-10-1 with a 2.67 goals against and .892 save percentage. Price won 32 games in his career. Rounding out the squad is Wayzata's number 1, Ryan Pellinger. A first-year starter, Pellinger was 13-8-3 with a 2.68 goals against and .900 save percentage while earning all Lake Conference status. A great group, the CCX All-Area Boys Hockey Team.